Chennai. It's such a great feeling for me, an honor, privilege to be really standing on this platform. I must tell you, I'm already feeling nervous. 500 people out there, 15th year, right? 15th year of IFA Galaxy. It's a huge achievement, I must say. I was, I think, part of the first one when we did in 2009, right? 2010. I was lucky to be part of that also, and I'm there with you in today also. So, big round of applause for all of you. IFA Galaxy has always been special to me. Chennai, I've come many times to share my learnings, experiences. And this time also, what I'm going to share with you is something very special, something that has not been showcased anywhere else. So this is the first time I'm going to share some very amazing lessons that I have learned. My topic is one idiot. Most of you know this story. I did it only this way. So this was the topic given by IFA Galaxy team only. There is an ad. Have you heard of this ad called by Lux, which says confidence pan ke ghumo? The vest, okay, the banyan which is there and says confidence le ke ghumo. So I also keep my confidence with me all the time. This is idiot written on my bag, as you can see here. So I always wear it with me. It gives me confidence. So wherever I go, people know me by this idiot because this is my life's philosophy, because this is how I want to live my life. I want the world to call me idiot in many ways. Not just one idiot movie that you saw, but the things that I'm going to share, that how I did it, some of the stuff, which might sound very different to you, okay? And we also tried for the first time few months back. So, okay, before that, the topic is really amazing: elevate, educate, and excel. So today I'm here to elevate all of us, to try and think at the next level, okay? And thereby educating our investors and excelling in our profession. So, of course, I have limited time, 40 minutes, so I'll be rushing few of the slides very fast. I have 100+ slides to share, so I'll not be kind of spending much time there. This is my favorite: investment in knowledge pays the best interest, and that's why I must congratulate you guys for 15th year of continuous knowledge enhancement for all of us, right? So, great job done. Now, our industry is all about, people say that it's a push industry. Well, I don't agree with this at all. The day I started this business, I came from London to start this business. I didn't came from London all the way to push to my clients to get there. I came here, someday, can we make a brand? Can we make a pull business out of this? In fact, today, MF industry as such has become a pull product, thanks to Mutual Fund Sahi campaign. You no longer have to go to households and explain power of SIPs and this thing, right? So initially, push is good, but if for the rest of your life you're continuing pushing the product, I think we have to introspect and we have to do something about it. You have to convert from push to pull. And how do you do that? Ajit Menon has this wonderful slide which says when an industry is new, distribution is king, right? This was in 2002, 2004, 5. When clients gain awareness, product is king. Today, we are at a stage where product has become the king, SIP has become the king. Now, why should a client only come to you to get his SIP or her SIP done? And that's when the brand becomes the king. Saugata Chatty mentioned few of the brands, few of the IFAs doing very different kind of stuff, right? How can you be one of them? Because tomorrow there will be hundreds and thousands of people who are going to do mutual funds. But let me warn you guys, 90% of the business is going to go to the 10% of the people, 10% of the MFDs. It's a harsh reality, truth. How can this room full of people be in that top 10%? And that's why we are all here, right? So this is what I'm going to share. Now, of course, 2024 was a watershed year in our lives. Internet changed our lives forever, okay? Thanks to these podcasts. The one idiot story earlier was known to few thousand people or 1 lakh, 2 lakh. Today, this story is now known to 40, 50 lakhs people in the last 6 months. And the power of this internet is that it can spread anywhere. Just 2 days back, I received a message from a 22-year-old person He's a porter in Indian Army, right now stationed in Jammu and Kashmir. And he messaged me, sir, I saw your podcast, very inspired. Can you help me start a 2,000 rupees SIP? 22-year-old porter. Look at the power of internet. Naval Ravikant says internet is the biggest form of leverage. Very few people have understood so far. We are still somehow living in an offline world, right? We have to level, we have to elevate our game. So thanks to this, we have started receiving more than 3,000 inquiries in the last 6 months. Now, our business was never made for 3,000 inquiries. Every week, we are receiving hundreds of inquiries. How do you reach out to them? All our business, as you can see, is based on word of mouth, trust. It was never meant that 500 people come and how do you reach out? So what we did, we tried a very unique idea. We said every Sunday, we'll do a webinar for all our investors, 200 people in a webinar. Come, attend this 2-hour session. Only if you are in sync with our philosophy, then we'll reach out to you. So when these 3,000 people reach out to us, we said, we are not going to come to you right away. First, listen to our webinar. We have to be in sync with what we do. So for the first time, the clients are not qualifying us. We are qualifying our clients. We have said, if you don't agree to this, we are not going to make you as our clients. Imagine the confidence. And I'm going to share what do we do in this presentation. Every week we do this with our investors, live Q&A. We share about our journey, our role as a personal finance professional, what kind of offerings we have, goal-based planning, revenue model. We also share our revenue model with them. Okay? Now, I'm not going to kind of go deep into each slide, but this is the FAQs a lot of our clients have, that how many years is the company in existence, what type of clients do you manage. So these are the FAQs we address. Of course, in this kind of event, we don't answer personal queries because there are 200 people there. There are clients who will come and say, look, I've invested in XYZ mutual fund, what should I do? That platform is not for this. This is for general queries. So we tell about our company, Etica Wealth, what we do. Now look, just watch every slide, okay? You will get some idea, because for the first time, I believe, we have taken this step. And in this first meeting, we have been very transparent. You will be amazed to see what kind of things we are sharing with our investors. So we talk to them about our company, our philosophy. Look at the philosophy statement that we write. Keep the client's interest ahead of us. We advise only those actions which we implement for our own portfolio. Skin in the game. Educate and empower clients to make smart financial decisions, confidentiality, and finally achieve financial. This is our philosophy. This is the leadership team. Chatty was mentioning about corporatization. Many of us are single person name, right? Look at the level of professionalism you have to now go. The same identity, same IFA Galaxy 15th year, all of you are having the same dress code, right? That talks about team. That talks about the branding now. Imagine if this goes onto Instagram and social media and the world comes to know, wow, what kind of event you have done. This is how you're creating your identity, right? So same way here. All of us, same, not just all of us, the entire team. We took our entire team to make sure that we all appear the same. It should look like same. Because the clients are dealing with these people on day in and day out. They should know who they are, right? So this is the team we introduce in the call. What services do we offer? Very clear. In investments, have you seen only mutual funds? Right? No P2Ps, no direct stock broking. What is our focus? What kind of goal-based solutions we offer? In insurance, only term, life, and health. That's it. NPS, will drafting, IPs. So clear in our value proposition to our investors. This is the most important slide. What is our value to our investors? 20% of the time, we are quantifying goals, crafting a long-term plan, and funding the plan with a long-term portfolio. And the remaining 80% of the time, it is coaching clients to continue working the plan through all the cycles of the economy and all the facts and fears of the market. इसके अलावा हम कुछ नहीं करते हैं, 0%. Timing the market, calling tops and bottoms, 0%. We have no idea whether the markets are top or bottom. And excessive churning of your portfolio to catch the latest fad of the market, again 0%. It causes more harm than good. Upfront in the first meeting, this is our value proposition to you. right? Because the best investment plan for you isn't based on some formula. It's the one you will actually stick with when markets are crashing. So this is where our role as a PFP comes to help you. The only thing that we do at Etica Wealth is this thing. First, protection. Second, do you have any expensive loans? If you have 12% loan on your head, don't even think of starting SIP. First, pay off the loan. Third, start with your savings requirement, emergency fund, and short-term goals. Then we'll talk about your long-term planning. Finally, making sure you have a will, keeping the family involved in the process, hiring a good advisor, and reviewing it once a year. We don't talk about monthly, weekly, quarterly. It says once a year is good enough, right? And how do we do goal-based investment? Short-term goals, long-term goals. What are the example of short-term goals? So we share like emergency fund, vacation, car purchase, startup. What are the strategies for short-term goals? So debt funds, equity savings, and hybrid. If your goal is between 0 to 5 years, this is the kind of strategy we are going to deploy to achieve those goals. And then we talk about long-term goals, where your financial freedom, retirement planning, children's future, and wealth creation comes in. I show my own example of retirement planning. This is how I did my retirement planning, that if my monthly expenditure today is 2 lakh, I'm 45, at 60, this is going to become approximately 12 crores rupees. And how I'm going to achieve this 12 crore if I don't plan today? And I need to start 2 lakh SIP myself because, let's say I was late. At 45, if I'm starting, I'm late. So when you show your own example, this is how you do retirement planning for your clients. They will come. This is the power of SWP. Through this retirement planning, you show the power of SWP also. Okay? And then there are a lot of people who come to us who are already retired, 60, 65. He says, we can't now plan for retirement. We already have some corpus. How do we enjoy this corpus? So we tell them two options: growing withdrawal every year, or maybe fixed withdrawal. Because there are clients who will say, look, at 60 to 70, I want to really enjoy the world. After 70, I'll be mostly sitting at home. So I will not be really going out for dinner. And so I want higher amount of monthly corpus today. And I don't, and if, even if it is the same, I'm okay. So we give them both the options, right? And again, we show this kind of example that how your SWP would work, because not many people know SWP. And this is the kind of asset allocation that you should have to achieve this kind of thing. Because these are the clients who have never seen this thing, we show them in this 1 hour, introduction. So this is a fixed withdrawal, 75,000, let's say, rupees per month for the rest of their life, 1 crore, and this is how the allocation would remain. Now, and then we come to children's education planning, that this is how we can will plan for your education, graduation, post-graduation, marriage goal. So a lot of clients would have gold already allocated for their marriage. So after allocating gold, what is the difference? So if the client today have to plan for the graduation, post-graduation, marriage, and 50 lakh, 2 crore, and 1 crore is the cost, they need to start an SIP of 16,000, 70,000, and 17,000 rupees for each of these 3 goals. Very clear. Okay? And then I show again my example here. My daughter was born 2010. This is the SIP that I started. 10,000 rupees. A month later, her naming ceremony was there. 50,000, 70,000 is the gift that she received from grandparents from both the sides. And I kept on investing this money. Diwali, what do people do on Diwali? Dhanteras, they buy gold. It's an auspicious thing. Dhanteras is really auspicious for me, but I don't invest in gold. I invest in the same fund. 21,000 rupees you saw in 2014. Her birthday gifts, again, parents give 11,000. I put in this. Now, the most important thing that I want to show you is this. 2 years back, I would have invested around 16 lakh 95,000 over the last 12 years. And the value of this became 50 lakhs rupees. For the first time, the value crossed 50 lakhs after 12 years. You know, but the story of compounding now begins. In last 2 years, you have added another 2.5 lakhs into the corpus. And look at the final value today. It is 1 CR now. 1 crore. 12 years, 50 lakhs. Next 2 years, 1 crore. For the first time, I saw the power of compounding in my portfolio. And only when you see it, you feel it. And this is how you can actually then convince your client that this can work with you too. Everybody in this room could have started 10,000 rupees 10, 15 years back. But very few of us did, right? Because we never had this confidence. So I show this. Then finally we talk about if you have to create wealth, like becoming one idiot, just like I want to become. If you're SIP, this is how you can do. If you have lump sum, this is how you can do. And what should be the strategy for your long-term goals? Anywhere from hybrid to diversified to aggressive equity funds, we share them. And how we select based on what should be asset allocation, what are your goals, and most importantly, what is your risk profile. Now today, everybody in the last 4 years are coming and saying we want 20% returns, right? We want small cap funds, mid cap funds. You have to know where on this line you belong. This is very important. We take a lot of time with our clients to sit and understand. And by knowing their existing investments for last 20 years, if they have done a lot of fixed deposits, suddenly they want to be number 10. It doesn't work. We have to moderate, temper the expectations, right? Now, this is something you are going to find it very, very surprising. Very few MFDs would talk about it. How many of you talk about direct mutual funds in the first meeting? Very few. I can see few hands. In the first meeting, we open up everything. We said, look, a lot of you are coming to us. You might have invested in direct plan. We don't do direct plan. And what is the difference between direct plan and regular plan? We assume if you're doing in direct plan, you know about the products. You deal directly with AMCs. You don't need intermediaries. And these are the benefits of direct plans or the features. You get better NAV, lower TER, meant for well-educated, market-savvy investors, and stuff like that, right? So this is what a direct plan brings in. And this is what a regular plan does, where a PFP or an MFD comes and help you. And this is what is the advantage of regular plan. So we help you in account operations, KYC. We have access to all the fund managers. This is advice we can give you, market research, and all the key benefits. So we try and explain the difference between direct plan and regular plan. And then we say why 95% of you, as in the audience who come to us, will never create wealth on your own. Why, in my opinion, DIY will never work. Okay? And I'll tell you why. Because my guru, Nick Murray, says human nature is a failed investor. Human nature is a failed investor. Okay? And I've been in this industry for 20 years. 15 years back, I put out these things. Today also this holds true. Because of this is why most of us remain average retail investors. We never become HNI, ultra HNI, or create wealth, right? So we are a nation of savers, but not investors. And Benjamin Graham says the investor's chief problem, and even his worst enemy, is likely to be himself, right? So we tell them why you will not be able to create wealth thanks to the social media noise around us, right? All the time you're seeing half-baked knowledge through Google, YouTube, WhatsApp University. And you know what happened in the last 4 years? Many people have seen very good returns in their portfolios, and that has made them overconfident. And this is my favorite quote from Stephen Hawking, and it actually applies to us also, guys. And that is why even after 20 years into this industry, I still think it's day one for me. I'm a beginner. I'm a novice. I just know this much about markets. Okay, because the day it gets into your head, you'll become overconfident. The greatest enemy of knowledge is not ignorance, guys. It is the illusion of knowledge that we have. Right? That's why I always like to remain one idiot. Keep learning. So I tell them that if you follow social media, this is what influencers are doing. How to pick stocks in 1 minute. Was that so easy? Then we wouldn't need Naren to come all the way from Mumbai to tell us, right? We could have done it on our own. So, doesn't work. Because in internet, in Google, you'll find free advice. You'll never find honest advice out there. And you know where is free food found? Free food is always found in the mousetrap. And if something is free, guys, you're not the customer. You are the bakras. Sorry for using the extreme words, but it is. Oh, bakra in English. Goat. Right? Not greatest of all time. Right? There is a company which says 0% brokerage, free. right? If it was free, then the company wouldn't have made 5,000 crore profit in the last year. How come it is free? And if it is free, who is making profits? We guys are making losses. 93% of the people who trade on those platforms are making losses. You are the bakras. You are the product, as in the investors are the products. Right? And anything that you see on internet, we forget it is sponsored. Right? It has a very subjective element. This is what we try to tell our investors. We all know this chart. On your own DIY, and again, this is mostly meant for DIY. The fund has given 19% returns. Investors have made 13% return. We all know what is the problem? The behavior gap. And that is why you and I were sent on this earth to help our investors, to bridge this gap. Right? So this is what we share. There was a data, 50% of the direct SIPs get cancelled out in less than, I think, 2 years. 50% of the SIPs. And in last 1 month, markets have started correcting down by 10-15%. Look at the number of SIP stoppages. Okay? I was told, Grow, one of the platforms, does 25% of the new SIPs. Out of all the SIPs that are being done, 25% are coming on one platform, guys. And out of that 25% which they are collecting, 25% of that money is going into one exclusive mid-cap fund. I don't want to tell the name. Okay, that mid-cap fund is right now having some struggle. But 25% of all the new money that company was collecting was going into one mid-cap fund. You know why? Because that was the best performing mid-cap fund in the last 1 to 3 years. God save our country. God save our investors. Right? That's why DIY is never going to work. We are all in safe zones. Right? As long as we are adding value to investors, we have a business to worry about. So, what happens? What do investors do? When the markets are all-time bottom, you see redemptions. When the markets index are all-time high, you see inflows. And that's what was happening in mid and small cap and thematic funds in the last 2 years. Right? And what do other investors do? So what was happening on that platform? People were chasing performance. The number one fund of 2018-20 was number 190th fund in the next 3 years. People are going and typing best performing fund, best performing small cap fund. And no wonder few of the AMCs got the highest inflows in the last few years just because they were number one in the previous two. This is how investors behave. How do we select funds? We do the ulta, reverse. Which has been the worst performing fund. We try to find out the reason why it has been the worst performing, why this style didn't work through, and then we go in when nobody's touching it. This is what, as an advisors with our experience, can bring this to the table. We do complete reverse of the general public, right? It's just like a wrong medicine that can destroy your health, a wrong financial advice can undo years of your hard work for 5-10 years. It can push you back by 5 years. And then we tell our value addition that how we add value. So 99% people follow the first pyramid. Investments, returns, market timing, efficiency, predictions. This is imaginary to us. What is real financial planning or plan? A goal, plan, allocation, behavior, and 10% is investments. What the world is talking about, we just talk about 10% of the time. Investments do not really matter. A fund versus B fund do not really matter. 5-star, 4-star, 3-star do not really matter. Right? And first time clients are hearing all these things. In the internet, everything is ulta, what we are saying. Ashish Modani, wonderful friend, he shared this chart that people come into market thinking it is an entertainment casino. I can make money, F&O. Then they experiment, then they are frustrated, then the realization happens. The day realization happens, you know how wealth creation will happen. This is a classic journey which all of our investors would have gone through in the last 4-5 years. Right? And why people will need us? Because Albert Einstein says 3 great forces rule the world: stupidity, fear, and greed. You know what is our biggest role, guys? Not to choose A fund or B fund or market timing or this and that. It is to make sure that we are a wall between our investors and they making stupid mistakes. If we stop our investors, if we stopped our investors from redeeming money during COVID, right? We have earned the whole lifetime of the fees that we have earned just in one decision. For the rest of the life, whatever you are making out of them is all free to him. That's the power we can have, by advising investors in the right way. When you play gully cricket, guys, you don't need a coach. But when the World Cup is at stake, even the world's best players needs a coach. Right? Indian national team needs a coach. So when the stakes are high, when you're doing a 10,000 rupees, you might do DIY. But when you're doing a 5 lakh SIP, you need an advisor. You can't afford to go wrong. Right? Very important. This is what we need to tell our investors. And this is my favorite. What's your choice? Krishna or his army? Both Pandavas and Kauravas had choice to choose between Krishna and his army. Kauravas chose his army because they thought it was an undefeatable. Pandavas, all the 5 brothers were best in their art, the best archer, right? But they said, we need someone to guide us. We need a Sarthi. And they chose Krishna. Guys, remember, even Kauravas had gurus, wonderful gurus like Bhishma Pitama, Dronacharya. They had weak gurus. They had gurus, but they had weak gurus. And they even had bad gurus in the form of Shakuni. In the form of Shakuni, who misguided them. Right? So a lot of influencers you see are kind of Shakunis. They are doing for their vested interest. So it's very important for our investors to know what's their choice, Krishna or their army. Right? Even having Krishna on your side will not help if the client starts kind of, doing, this was an OPD, this was outside a doctor's. My diagnosis, my treatment, 200 rupees. Come listen to me, I'll help you, 200 bucks. But if you start applying your Google mind, ChatGPT mind, my diagnosis, your treatment, 500 bucks. Your Google doubts, for that, I'll charge you 1,000 bucks. Because, somehow, before any problem, we Google and we go to a doctor thinking that we are smarter than doctor. Right? And final, your diagnosis, your treatment, 2,000 bucks. I'm sure a lot of investors come to you and say, look, I want to invest in these 5 funds. Right? They would not even listen to you. Please do not onboard those clients at all. Just say tata, goodbye to them. They are going to do more harm than good to you. Okay? So this is what we shared to our investors. Observations from my portfolio. It's a very boring game, guys. We tell our customers, don't come here for excitement. Less churn is more returns. We try and make sure that you earn the investment return becomes the investor returns for you. Remember, some funds will perform, some won't. In the long term, the performance is very similar. Finally, the portfolio returns matter. If you are convinced with the idea, then don't do just a 5,000 SIP. It will not make you rich. It will not be good for us. If you are convinced, make some meaningful investment. Right? Practice what you preach. This is what we do. And we tell our investors, people come and say, look, I want 20% returns, 25, 18. I tell them very simple. People do not get what they want or what they expect from the markets. They get what they deserve. It's very important. If you behave well, you will deserve 15, 18% return. But you have to behave well. You have to stay for 15 years. And whatever wealth I have created, which I tell my investors, it was never because of my mind or my knowledge. It never was my thinking that made the big money for me. It was always my sitting. I just sat there. Okay? You know what is the biggest problem with our investors? All men's miseries derive from not being able to sit in a quiet room alone. We come from monkeys generation. हम लोग सब बंदर से आए हैं, right? A monkey cannot sit in a quiet place alone. Keep jumping from one branch to another. Same thing our investors. There are investors who would see portfolios on the app 40 times a month. The NAV is only updated 20 times in the month, but they will see it twice, 3 times in a day to check whether the NAV has changed within the day or not. We are so much, thanks to technology, right? We are becoming impatient. This is the biggest thing that we show, I'm not sure how many of you are doing. Now, what we show to investors, this is my portfolio. This is what I'm doing in a regular plan. 1.5% is my expense ratio. If I would have gone direct, my expense ratio would have been 0.6%. On a portfolio value of almost 50 crores, if you guys are my advisors, how much have I saved if I would have gone on my own? The annual saving is around 38 lakhs rupees. Guys, I'm showing everything in black and white. How much you are earning because of me? You're earning the difference of 80 bips. Is the entire 80 bips coming to you? The answer is no, you pay GST on that. The net earning to you is 0.65. For the first time, my investors have come to know how much I'm earning as a MFD, black and white. Now, my question to you is, do you guys deserve this 0.65% or not? If you were my advisor, how do you prove that? So the way I prove is, this is my portfolio for the last 5 years. This is the CAGR that I've earned on my portfolio on equity funds, 25% compounded returns. Index, at the same time, has given 17% return. On the total portfolio, my CAGR has been 22% post regular plan expenditure. It's the net return that as an investor I've earned, and the index has given 16%. 6% clear alpha, thanks to your advice. Now tell me, do I deserve 0.65% or not? Come on, guys. This is, now many people might say, Mr. Kothari, 5 years, markets have gone up, everybody has made returns. What is so special about this? Then we show, since inception return for the last 15 years, 18% compounded return on the entire portfolio, not selective time period. And benchmark has given 14%, 4% visible alpha after deducting 0.65%. Now tell me, do our investors deserve us or not? And I'm showing this on my portfolio, guys, right? So this is the kind of transparency you have to show, that what you earn, what is your valuation, and not just this. This was a normal index. And that is why I'm not a big believer of index investing, because there's been a 6% clear alpha for the last 6 years. Because of right advice, right this thing. But forget that. This is again very interesting. This is, if I've invested in banking sector fund, have I beaten the banking index? If I've invested in small cap fund, have I beaten the small cap index? Guys, post expenditure, 15 years, post regular plan expenditure, CAGR is 18.6. The below one is pre-index expenditure. The index expenses have not been taken. Still beaten that. Still beaten that. Right? So this is the power, this is the value of a good PFP, I believe. What is our investing approach? We invest our clients' money in similar investments where we invest our own hard-earned money. So we share all these things with the investors. See, finally, the two things that require is discipline and patience, nothing else. Okay? This is very interesting. What we can't do and won't do for investors. We don't have the capability to predict short-term market movements. We can't make you rich quickly. Imagine this I'm telling to my investors in the first meeting. We are purely for long-term management of your money. We don't manage your portfolio actively. We hardly churn your portfolio. We will never call you for business or investments. Our relationship is like a doctor and patient. If you have any problem, you can call us and we'll help you out. But don't expect us to chase you or push you. This is what we are never going to do. And this we tell upfront. Who are our ideal clients? Those who are willing to learn more and more, who are willing to take full charge of their financial life and stick to their goals until it is achieved. Who can commit discipline and have loads of patience. And guys who are not our ideal clients. Imagine 200 people are listening to us and we tell who are not ideal clients. Looking for short-term returns, greedy for high returns. People who look at their portfolio on a daily, weekly basis. People who think Google, money control, value research can do a better job. Guys, we are very averse in taking people from financial services industry as our clients. People who are chartered accountants, CFAs, MBA in finance, we are very, very skeptical because they have their baggage of information. They're not going to listen to your advice fully. Right? We write this, we mention this. And people who are more worried about the cost rather than the value they receive. People who are more worried about what we earn rather than what they are going to earn. Those are not ideal clients. So we have no minimum amount criteria. Log puchte hain, what is your minimum amount? 1 crore, 50 lakhs. We say It's not minimum amount, it's minimum philosophy requirement. Okay, if our philosophies are not matching, let's not work together. So this is what we say. And finally, we don't want you to die rich. We want you to live rich. So this is a SMS, WhatsApp message with our client. We made our client fly business class. Okay, let me know how was your business class experience. The client says, I'm spoiled. Don't think I can travel by economy anymore. This is a message from our client. And she says, you better see to it. Still feeling guilty, have to get used to it. Can't thank God enough for you. This is the blessing that we work for, right? Our job is not only to make the money work hard for them, it is to make that money, they should be able to enjoy this money in their lifetime. That's our real job. So these are the questions that we answer. Some of the questions, FAQs, I would like to share. So we tell in our meeting what all we do, okay? What are the branches? Do you manage clients outside Mumbai? Look at the FAQs. Every question the client may have in mind, we have answered that. Okay? Now we can meet clients all over the world thanks to Zoom. Can you help invest in direct stocks? Sorry, we don't do direct stocks. Period. Conversation stopped. If you're coming to us for direct stocks, we are not the right people. Right? Our entire family corpus is in mutual funds, and we are quite happy with 15 to 18% return over a long-term period. We are not gunning for 20%. Can you review my existing portfolio? Sorry, we can't do this unless you become our client. And we believe this one-time activity will not help you anyway. Okay? Again, what returns can I expect if I work with you guys? Well, it depends on who you are. Okay? The long-term returns over a 10-year period is in the range of 12 to 15%. What type of clients do you manage? So we manage money for everyone. We don't discriminate based on the investment corpus they bring. Our sweet spot is M&I, middle net worth individual. As Parag Parikh once said, we don't chase HNIs, we create them. And that's the joy of a good PFP, MFD. Can we help our clients become HNIs one day? अरे जिसके पास 100 करोड़ रुपए है उसका आप 200 करोड़ बना दोगे कोई वैल्यू एडिशन नहीं है. You're not doing any value addition in their life because they will never be able to spend that 100 crores in their lifetime. We should rather work with somebody who has 20, 25 lakhs who has aspirations and who need us. And we are not very comfortable with ultra HNIs on day one because they are not going to follow advice. If there are multiple advisors, they will not listen to you. Since how many years is the company in existence? What are the returns your clients have made so far? Look what I've written in the second paragraph. We've been in existence for the last 50 years. Unfortunately, many of our clients have not created immense wealth as they have not followed our holistic financial planning advice to the T. The kind of money they have given us is only 10%, 20%. 80% is stuck in real estate, properties, gold, a lot of stuff which they should have done something with it, but they never did. And that's why they have never created immense wealth in the last 15 years. Okay? How secure is my money? We've answered that. Okay? We don't hold you assets in our name. Everything, every FAQ we have answered. Do I need a demat account to invest in MFs? What does this work? If I'm not happy with the advice or if Etica Wealth close, what should I do? Our persistency ratio is more than 98% and would love to advise you for the rest of your life. But in case if you decide to move away, we will never stop you. Right? There's no lock-in of investments. You are free to take your money whenever you want. What is the organization structure? Who do we get access to? Right? How are you different from banks and other large wealth management players? We are a boutique personal finance firm and we have complete skin in the game. We don't have any performance targets for our team members and we know that we are answerable to you even after 10 years. Either we swim together or sink together. As my guru Nick Murray says, we are here to do good, to do well by doing good, to be happy doing well by doing good. If I'm already working with an advisor, can I still come to you? Okay, this is a very interesting question. If you're already happy with your financial advisor, please do not come to us. If you are unhappy, then we would like to understand in detail why you are unhappy, as we believe the reason for dissatisfaction lies in difference between your expectations and the reality. And we wouldn't want you to experience this again. There's no point working with multiple advisors as too many cooks spoil the food. That's one reason why we are not comfortable working with ultra HNI clients. We tell them, imagine you have 25 crores and you're listening to this, right? How do you do your research? Again, we write, we don't get into micro research. Big picture thinking is what matters to us. Okay? We don't much believe in fund selection. It's only 5% of the role. What is your value addition? Our value addition is in helping you define and plan for your financial goals and then help you with the right asset allocation. Our biggest value addition is helping you avoid big financial mistakes in your life, thereby ensuring lasting financial peace. And for this, we feel we deserve to earn 0.8% upfront. Professional advice comes at a price. Without it, you pay a much higher price. Do you invest in direct plan? How do you earn? We are an MFA registered mutual fund distributor. We don't invest our clients' money in direct plans. We invest only in regular plans. We are completely transparent in our dealing, and we let you know how much we earn. You can view the total expense ratio of your portfolio on our dashboard. Can you take a fixed advisory fee and I invest in direct plan? Sorry, we are not SEBI registered investment advisors. We cannot charge fees to you. If I have already invested in direct plans, what should I do now? Well, you have 3 choices, and we lay down all this open, right? Finally, so this is a disclaimer. Our long-term relationship is based on mutual respect and trust. If you think this makes sense, let's join hands. This is what we invite our clients. You know what is this? Can anybody guess what is this? Anyone? Guys, this is how the industry behaves. There's so much of opaqueness, right? Transparency is not there. In this 1-hour call, 2-hour call that we do with our investors, we remove this curtain forever. Full transparency between you and me. I have shared whatever I could have shared. There should be no curtain between you and me. As a doctor, when you come to me as a patient, I want you to tell me everything about your health so that I can treat you better. And that's what I said. So we removed this curtain and we says, the day you are ready, teacher will appear. You don't have to sign now. When you think you are ready, we will appear. This is what Buddha said. And Lao Tzu said, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When the student is truly ready, the teacher will disappear. I want to see a day in our clients' lives where we can actually disappear from their lives. That's the value addition we would have done. Last thing, 95% of the problems in our lives are connected with money. Do you agree with this? Yes. Right? So you know what is the free advice I give to my investors? That please get the help of a good advisor. You don't have to come to me. But you need a good advisor. Because a good advisor is like a determined coach, trusted guide, patient psychologist, personal friend, historian, futurist, all in one. We become that person. I mean, I don't want to read, but this is who a good advisor is. So this is what we do. And just last one minute, I want to share. So this is a wonderful speech. Okay, I would really want you to listen to this speech. This was mentioned. This was a speech by last lecture for the Stanford Graduate School of Business class of 2023 by Graham Weaver, and he says how to live an asymmetric life. Okay, so he says if you want to live an asymmetric, you have to do hard things. What I did was hard thing. To our first orientation meeting, tell all the hard stuff to your clients. Do hard things. It might go down. Eventually, it will go up. Okay? Everything you want on the other side is of worse first. Do your thing. Life is suffering. So figure out something worth suffering for. The profession that we have all chosen is worth suffering for. Right? We meet 10, 15. Last 6 months, I have spent all my Sundays meeting investors because they need you. It's a worthy cause to be spending time for 20, 15 hours a day, whatever you can. If you want an asymmetric life, do hard things, do your thing. Do it for decades. I love what I'm doing, and therefore I'm willing to do it for a long time. I'm now 20 years into this profession as an PFP, and I'm still fired up. We always talk about power of compounding. Imagine this power of compounding working in your business, right? R represents improving yourself. Thanks to this IFA Galaxy event, coaching, reading, learning, writing out your goals, using your imagination. The most powerful part of the equation is N, the number of years you are in your role. If you love what you do, you will do it for a long time, and your N will be large. And if you improve at a reasonable rate, you can become the best in the world at what you do. There is almost no obstacle that won't yield to you at full power for a decade. So if you want to live an asymmetric life, do hard things, do your thing, do it for decades. And finally, write your story. One idiot is the story that I've chose for my life, right? You can write your own story no matter where you are. And lastly, don't worry about fear. Don't worry what SEBI will do. Don't worry what direct plans would do, Grow, Zerodha would do. Because this fear will make you weak. Okay? Finally, IFA Galaxy, Team IFA Galaxy. This is your 15th year of conference. You have not come this far to play small. You came this far to move the world. Now is your time. Thank you so much, friends, for having me. I'm sorry for extending my time by 10 minutes.